and each and every aspect of nonverbal communication makes an impression, or it can um, spoil an impression. So we need to be careful, especially in professional scenarios. Physical appearance is very important. We should be neat, we should be formally dressed. As far as possible, we should use very light makeup and avoid accessories. Now, moving on to the next type, kinesics also refers to our facial expressions. The face, like there is another proverb which says the face is the index of mind. Whatever we are thinking at any given point of time is very clearly shown in our facial expressions as well as our body language. We already talked about body language, so right now let's talk about facial expressions. As you can see here, of course, facial expressions, if you I'm sure all of you are using WhatsApp, so you know the smileys or the emoticons which are easily available on WhatsApp. So of course those are emoticons, not real persons, but I tried to use cartoons of somewhat real caricatures here. So I have expressions, different kinds of expressions. The first one, if you see, is of ease. That is a person who is comfortable, has a faint smile on his or her face, and is friendly and open. Our facial expressions also talk a lot about our personality. So if right now right now when I'm lecturing, I'm sure you must be feeling that I have a smile on my face. So I'm sure that I hope that you are enjoying the lecture. And but then if I lecture otherwise, like kinesics is about facial expressions, and I have a picture of facial expressions, you can look here, and I hope you understand. Now, this kind of, if I'm going to lecture in this way, I'm sure what sometimes even my students say, khadus lag rahi hai. So you need to be careful when you are in a professional scenario as well as in day-to-day situations also. I'm sure you must have come across situations where sometimes your friends must have pointed out, क्या हुआ आज तुम्हारा मुंह क्यों लटका हुआ है. I'm sure you must have come across these kind of dialogues. So it's you must have been surprised that how they know that you are in a bad mood. It's not surprising because it's shown on your face. Your face tells a lot about the kind of feelings and emotions you are experiencing at that given point of time. So if you look at the photos that I have here, a laughing face, I have the pic of a laughing face here. Someone who is happy or is amused. Amused is feeling a bit silly as well as happy. Then there is someone who is very angry, then a sad face, a bored face, normally the kind of face that students have in the class, right? Yawning when it is a very boring lecture. I hope this one you are enjoying. So these are different kinds of facial expressions, and our thoughts are very clearly shown in our facial expressions. So especially in a professional scenario, it is appreciated when you have a face which is at ease, or a happy face, where a happy face shows that you are an open-minded person and ready to communicate. You are a friendly person, right? So facial expressions are equally important. Then let's move further. Kinesics also refers to gestures. Like for example, I just showed you one of the gestures. When I show a thumbs up like this, thumbs up, when you show thumbs up to your friend, the friend will in an examination hall, your friend would immediately understand that you are wishing him or her all the best. So I have that's a kind of gesture. Again, I have some pictures here which indicate a lot. This is crossing finger, hoping that something positive happens. This is clapping, also is a kind of gesture. Namaste is the Indian way. It is a Indian gesture of welcoming guests at home. When you are upset about something, what you do is you put a hand on your head. When you like something, you show this kind of gesture. When you win something, or when you are showing a victory sign, this is the kind of gesture we show with our fingers. When you say bye to someone, you wave your hand like this. If you see this girl, she is waving her hand, saying bye. Similarly, when you want to say no, what do? You turn your head from left to right to say no. So these are different kinds of gestures. Apart from that, there are many kinds of gestures that we use in our day-to-day life. Like for example, your friend is standing somewhere very far where he cannot hear your voice, but then he's looking at you and you want to call him. So what do? You just move your hand like this. You call him, come here, aiyao, right? So that is one kind of gesture. Have you seen small kids? Even you are small kids still, I'm sure. Sometimes when your mummy says kareli beta kareli ki sabji kha lo, so how do you behave, or what kind of indication you show to say no? You do like this, shrug your shoulders. This is called shrugging your shoulders. This is also a kind of gesture we use normally. This is a kind of gesture that small kids extensively use, so in order to say no. So this is one way of using gestures, right? So gestures are also a part of non-verbal communication. That is the first type of communication, kinesics. Then moving on to the next one, kinesics also is about eye contact. When we are communicating, especially kinesics, eye contact is very important when we are communicating with people face to face. In oral communication, when we are standing face to face with another person, like for example, you are talking to a friend of yours. When you are looking at your friend, you have to look at your friend. That is, you have to maintain eye contact with the person. Now, eye contact helps in different ways. Like if the first one, if you see the first figure, it indicates what this is a classroom situation. I'm sure you must have noticed that your teacher is always looking at all the students in the class, right? And whether you like it or not, you are forced to pay attention, because you never know when your teacher would be looking at you, and if you are not attentive, she may immediately ask you a question, right? It's a very difficult situation. So we maintain eye contact. One of the main reasons why we maintain eye contact is to be attentive. As you can see this, when someone is talking, when you look at them, when you maintain eye contact with them, it shows attention. Attention means what? That you are listening to what they are saying, right? Similarly, if you look at this one, this shows that the importance of looking at the other person, because the other person also is looking at you. Think of an example that if you're talking to me, I am your teacher, and you have certain difficulty, you didn't understand today's topic, and you are asking a doubt that, madam, I didn't understand eye contact. If I don't look at you, and if I'm looking here and there, if I'm looking somewhere in the sky, or if I'm looking somewhere at the trees, or if I'm looking at the other students when you're talking to me, you would feel bad, isn't it? Right? So eye contact is very important, because it is also one way of showing respect to the other person. It is one way of, if you look at the third one, this here, it is one way of showing to the other person that you are interested in what they are talking about, right? Now, another advantage of eye contact is that when you are talking to a person, if the person is not looking at you, or the person has a very different expression on his or her face, like they look sad or they look bored, like I have a face here which the person is very bored, is not maintaining eye contact with the speaker. So this is a kind of feedback that the listener is giving to the speaker, that sorry, I am not interested in what you are speaking. So this is like a signal, or this is like a feedback to the speaker that he or she has to change the topic. Clear? So eye contact is important. To sum up, eye contact is important to show to the speaker, as well as the speaker also maintains eye contact. It's both ways. The speaker as well as the listener, they show that they are paying attention to each other. The second advantage of eye contact is it shows interest, that the speaker and the listener are interested in whatever is being communicated. The third advantage of eye contact is it gives us a feedback, especially to the speaker. If the speaker feels that the listener is bored or is not paying attention, the speaker can change the topic. So the facial expressions of the other person, or the body language of the other person, is a kind of feedback that the speaker can use only if the speaker and the listener, they maintain eye contact with each other, right? Then we have, this was all about kinesics. We have seen in kinesics We have seen facial expressions, we have seen gestures, we have seen physical appearance, we have looked at body language and posture, we have looked at eye contact. Now, the second type of nonverbal communication is proxemics. Have you ever realized that when you are standing with your friends, what is the kind of distancing you maintain with your friends? Is it the same kind of distance that you maintain when you are standing with your teacher? Like, for example, when you're standing with your friends, you put an arm on his or her shoulder, you stand very close to them. But when you're talking to a teacher, do you put an arm around the teacher and talk to the teacher? No, you don't do that, isn't it? So, spacing and distancing, this is something that we don't realize, but very unconsciously we do maintain certain spacing and distancing when we communicate. And the kind of spacing and distancing that we maintain tells a lot about the relationship, the people who are in the communication process, the kind of relationship they have. It is shown by that kind of spacing and distancing. So proxemics, yes, it is pronounced as proxemics. Proxemics is the science of space and distance, or in short, it can be also called as space language. Now, space language, the experts have, of course, it is in a professional scenario. The experts have suggested 4 types of spacing and distancing. As you can see on the screen, there are 4 types of spacing and distancing. The first one is called the intimate kind of spacing and distancing. The intimate kind of spacing and distancing is 0, that is no space or distance at all between 2 people, to something like 18 inches is called intimate spacing. Now, intimate spacing is normally seen when you are whispering in someone's ear, that is, you're sharing a secret with your best friend, is an example of intimate spacing and distancing. Then you have the second type, which is called the personal kind of spacing and distancing, which begins from 18 inches to 4 feet, a distance of 18 inches to 4 feet. Normally, when a group of friends are standing together during recess, you share your tiffin box, or when you are having a discussion in your group. Now, the kind of spacing and distancing, or when you are in a family get together, or the entire family sitting together on a dining table and having lunch or dinner, these are various examples of personal kind of spacing and distancing. Then you have the third type, which is called the social kind of spacing and distancing, which ranges from something like 4 to 12 feet of distance. Now, in professional scenarios, to give examples in professional scenarios, normally classroom teaching, the kind of distance that a teacher and a student maintain in a classroom situation is a social kind of spacing and distancing. Small scale meetings, group discussions, seminars, conferences, workshops, these are all various examples of social kind of spacing and distancing. Then you have the last of the ones, that is public kind of spacing and distancing. The range of distance for public kind of spacing and distancing begins from 12 feet to 25 feet. Normally it is suggested as 25 feet, but then it can be beyond 25 feet as far as you can see and hear the other person. So, and a very good example of public kind of spacing and distancing is public speaking. So, or maybe a politician doing campaigning, asking for votes, that also is a kind of public kind of spacing and distancing. So this is proxemics. Then we move on to the next one. The next type of nonverbal communication is haptics. Now, haptics is the language of touch, communication through touch. So, what are the instances of touch? Like when you score good marks, your mother and father give you a hug. Now, that is an example of touch or haptics. You are given a patting on your back, like you can see in the pictures here. The patting on back, जैसे हिंदी में बोलते हैं शाबाशी देना. So this also is a kind of example of touch, communication through touch. Similarly, if you see this one, patting on the head, this also is a kind of touch, and it communicates a lot that the other person is appreciating your achievement. And then one of the most common examples of haptics is handshake. these days it has become a very common norm in business areas, especially in business, that everyone greets each other with a handshake. So the first picture, if you see, shows a handshake. And youngsters like you, I'm sure, wherever you win a bet or you score good marks or when you're very happy, you normally give a high five. So this picture of a girl and a boy, if you see friends, they are giving a high five to each other. So these are the examples of haptics, which is also called the language of touch. Okay. Now the next type of non-verbal communication that we have is paralanguage. Para means like, language is language, so something that is like language. When I speak to you, if we subtract the words that I am using, there is a lot that is communicated about me by the kind of tone I have, the voice quality that I have, the speed with which I talk, the high or low volume with which I speak, the kind of pauses I take, and silence. Maybe as of now I'm not silent, so I'll just explain what is silence in a moment. So this is called paralanguage. Anything that is like language is called paralanguage, or paralanguage is also termed as vocalics. That is the science of communication through vocal characteristics. So vocal characteristics is paralanguage. Now, paralanguage or vocal characteristics, what are the different vocal characteristics that we have? If you look at the first one, the voice quality. Either we have a high pitch or a low pitch. I think I should include even a medium pitch also. The best examples that I can give you of is our singers, Bollywood singers. I'm sure if you have heard of. If I have to talk about someone like Shreya Ghoshal, has a very low pitch. It's a very sweet kind of a voice that she has. But if I have to give you an example of someone like Sunidhi Chauhan, she has a high pitch. So she can sing songs in a very high range. If I have to talk about someone like Sonu Nigam, has a medium pitch. He can sing at a certain level of high pitch, not beyond that, like Mika Singh. And he cannot sing at a lower pitch, something like Shan can sing, or maybe Shreya Ghoshal can sing. So Sonu Nigam has a medium pitch. So pitch variation. If I have to talk about myself, I have a high pitch. Right? So I think that is what also makes me a bit sound like a khadoos. So anyways, that was just a joke. Let's move on to the next one. Tone. The tone of the voice. Sometimes when you hear certain people, you feel